everybody. Welcome to Soul Fulfilling. My name is Rickie Byars, and I'm shot straight from the heart of God. And if you landed over here, hey, you're having a good incarnation. That's a little interesting. But that's the way I feel about God, man. So come on in. Hey, Marion. Tomorrow is the winter solstice. So maybe I'll wait before I do this song because people are coming into the room and I just want to wait till they come in. Hey man, come on out. Yeah, get your tea or your dinner, or like they say in the country, your dinner. First came the moon, which reflected the sun, and together the sun and the moon bore the earth as she pleased, sighed the winds, cried the seas. Mother Nature indeed had a glorious birth. Mankind is a child of the sun. Mankind is a child of the sun. Hey, Chef Lori. Sometimes in life there are problems and strife, and it seems that our dreams are mere figments of time. Earth, as she turns, holds a truth we could earn. See her fall, see her spring. She depends on sunshine. Hey. Just as the sun bears the weight of the earth, it can brighten your blues if you just give it a chance. Come on into the room, y'all. Unleash your soul to the sun and behold how restored you will feel after one Sunday glance. Aloha, la boy. Hey Maxine. Hey Drea. Ooh, Bobby Robert. Yes. I think my piano might be a little hot. Does it sound a little hot? That's better. It was burning up. Yeah, come on in, Giuseppe. Yeah. This is like the chestnuts roasted on the open fire vibe. Oh, first came the moon, which reflected the sun, and together the sun and the moon bore the earth. As you arrive to the truth that's inside, you will see finally you're a child of the sun. You will see finally you're a child of the sun. Child of the sun. Yes. Yes. Let's pick it up a little bit. Come on into the room. Come on in the room. 2, 3, 4. I'm choosing heaven today. And I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now. Singing, I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing love. I'm choosing love today. What are you choosing? I'm choosing love today. I am walking the road of heaven right now. Singing, I'm choosing love today. I'm choosing peace. I'm choosing peace today. All over the world, I'm choosing peace today. I am walking the road of heaven right now. Singing, I'm choosing peace today. I don't know where my friend Paulette is. Paulette Lucas, I haven't seen her in a long time. She likes this song. Heaven right now, I'm choosing peace today. Oh, I'm choosing heaven today. And I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now. Singing, I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now. Singing, I'm choosing heaven today. All right. Here we are on the Soul Fulfilling. Welcome, everybody, to tonight's wonderful program. I got a feeling you're going to love tonight. You're going to love it. First of all, because it's a good night already. I'm just trying to get this a little louder here. Oh, there we go. Oh, I'm sounding good now. Let me do that other song again. Oh, no, just kidding. Bring this down a teeny bit. Still seem to be in the red. Something just happened all of a sudden. The levels just got a little hot. Life is like that sometimes, though. You know, you could be going along your way, looking like you got your RIGASA sweatshirt on, minding your business, resting in God and saying amen. And you're not looking where you're going and trip over a rock. And it's a whole new thing, a whole new way for you to see God. You know, so there's multiple, there are infinite opportunities while you got a body to see God in so many different situations. Tonight on Soul Fulfilling, I'm hoping that what we can do here is help you to see God even quicker, to see God right there. I know my life has gotten better. Really, my focus has gotten better. I'm just in a better place. I think I'm 3 or 4 years into Soul Fulfilling. I think this is my 3rd year into Soul Fulfilling. And I got to say, doing these shows have made me a better person. And so that's what it's doing for me. I hope it's helping you. Hey, Deanna, and welcome. Sharon Fuller. Hi, Rian Nelson. I am walking of heaven. I'm choosing peace today. Buona sera, Ricky. Buona sera. Yeah, that's good evening. So y'all think I don't know no Italian around here. But that's my good friend Giuseppe and Robert Yarborough and others who are coming on. So just come on in the room and get comfortable. Tonight with me is a wonderful individual. Before I bring her in, I just need to take a deep breath and just stop. And slow it down a moment. And rest in this peace that God is right now. And I give thanks for our time together, for the soul fulfilling hour and change that we have to play in God, to find out how to have richer lives, more health, more wholeness, more happiness. a deeper fulfillment in the heart, and a knowing that we rest in the heart of God. I give thanks for our time together. And just allow it to be what it will. And it's always good. And so I give thanks. Thank you, dear Infinite Spirit. We rest in you and allow you to be through us. Amen. Ashe. And bring her in and she'll say, Ashe-o.
Ashe-o.
Welcome on to Soul Fulfilling, Lona Alias. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Well, I'm so glad to be here while you're here, Rickie, with you. Yes, I've never been here with when you were here.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So, but you're here now.
I certainly am, and I'm grateful to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, of course. I mean, she's a real superstar. Those of you who do not know, I don't know how you do not know Lona Alias, but Lona Alias is an amazing being. And I scooped this up on you. This says, after many years in broadcasting and public relations, Lona Alias is returning to her roots as a spiritual teacher. I never knew Lona not to be a spiritual teacher. So I don't know, this must have been 25, 30 years ago. But they said that, how long have you been doing Spirit of Jazz?
Honestly, I can guess maybe about 20 years.
Okay. So this was written a few years before then, but before you reach 20. But what they say is that you create musical tapestries interwoven with your extensive knowledge of metaphysics, philosophy, cosmology, and biblical text. Yes. Drawing on your life experiences, you provide a space for agnostics and believers.
Yes.
As a spiritual light, see, I tell you, girl, she's my sister.
Yes. I was like, how did you get that one? I don't think I sent you that one because I couldn't find it. But okay.
Oh no, I didn't see nothing you sent. As a spiritual life coach, Lona has taught meditation for health, mind balancing, and transformation for more than 30 years. She's currently working on 2 books. You still working on those books, or are they about ready?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
they're still working.
Well, that's okay. I'm working on mine too. But I'm going to
because one of it's like a life thing. It's like a handbook on how to live.
Well, one is called Religion as a Verb. You might never finish that one. Yep. And the other one is Being Human, a User's Manual. You might not finish that one.
That's what I'm saying. It's a life work. You see what I'm saying? And those are titles and works that I actually have chapters on, mm-hmm. an outline of what the other chapters are going to be about with, to fill in at some point.
Yeah, but I know you. My relationship with Miss Lona Alias here is as a connector. When I think of you as a connector, because you bring people and events together, and your presence helps to connect the dots that might not have connected, there might have been some kind of disconnect. I know whenever I came to Washington, D.C., when you knew about it, the house would be full or would be approaching fullness. When you didn't know about it, it was like crickets. And the difference was Lona knew. When Lona knew, Lona spread the word, let people know, had you on a radio program, because her radio show, Spirit of Jazz, WPFW, FM, .org, is that?
Yes, that's correct. That's the website.
Okay, WPFW.org, WPFWFM.org is her radio show. Her show, Spirit of Jazz, she airs every Sunday morning. And let's talk about Spirit of Jazz, and let's talk about how you open Spirit of Jazz, and let's talk about the B-hood all over Spirit of Jazz.
Okay, first of all, I must give honor to God and to
Glory.
All the strong African people who bore me and have supported me, and who are the reasons that I'm able to stand and have a modicum of sense and a place in this world. I just need to honor them. Georgia Ann Henderson, Willie Mae Flagg, that's my mom and my grandmother. I won't go into anybody else because those are the names that immediately came out of my mouth. Mm-hmm. And all her sisters who were examples to me, who taught me some things like that, the life lessons that are the reason that I'm doing what I'm doing, because I was taught you don't have to stay on a job that you don't like.
Mm-hmm.
early,
Mm-hmm.
early. And so those type of things that I'm given in early, like before I knew anything about being an adult, have
Mm-hmm.
shaped everything that has come after. So I just T and Viola, Uncle Buddy, Uncle Dave, Aunt Gerald. I have to call those names because those are the people who carried me and supported my mom when she couldn't take care of us, so that
Mm-hmm.
all of us are wonderful and her sisters and brothers. And so
Well, that's
yeah,
love in action, and that's
love and
important.
accent. That's the
Mm-hmm.
show that we have on WPFW.
Well, I'm telling you, it's all God. And so, and we'll do what you got to do, and giving glory and honor to those who came before us. It's a beautiful thing. And I sing about it, but I don't, I'm talking all the time. So it's like, I frequently am mentioning names of folks in my family. So it's like, I can see you can mention yours because I mention mine all the time.
So I come as one, but I stand as thousands. And I just
Well, look at here, Miss Thousands. Let's talk about the spirit of
Spirit of
jazz.
Jazz. So
Yeah.
Spirit of Jazz came about. Quick story. Quick story. Spirit of Jazz came about because I got fired from my Monday morning job on WPFW that I had for like 10 years because we had a new program director and I played this soft, sappy music on Monday morning when people are trying to get up and go to work. He said, I told you about that, Lona. That's it. So he moved me to Thursday evening and they wanted something different on Sunday morning than the gospel because the people would call and complain about it. And so they said, Lona, you do such an inspirational thing. We want to do something inspirational with words and music and stuff like that. I said, so it should say spirit, something about spirit. Says yes. And so we came up with the name Spirit of Jazz. And from that, I was just given carte blanche to do what I wanted. So I play every kind of music.
Mm-hmm.
I love the B Hood. I'm absolutely committed. So I play every kind of music. You can hear Kathleen Battle, Prince, Neo. No, I'm serious. Neo, Beyonce doing Ave Maria, the
Yeah.
Commodores with Al Johnson Jr. doing the 23rd Psalms.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Marvin Gaye, His Eyes on the Sparrow,
Mm-hmm.
Whitney Houston, I Didn't Know My Own Strength, and Rickie Byars and the Agape, the Spirit of God is upon me. Oh God, in God's hands. Hey girl,
The hits keep coming.
pass it on. In the beginning, God, Genesis, on and on and on. And and just I sound like a fan as in fanatic. However, I am a fan in the truest sense because when I heard your music, and every time I listen to your music, it doesn't matter where I am at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
When the song, into the song, it doesn't even have to end. I'm in the very presence of God. I am out of my mind, as Prince says his goal when he does a concert
Mm-hmm.
is to drive you out of your mind. And so
Mm-hmm.
I'm out of my mind and into the mind of God with your
Mm-hmm.
music. And I feel like, wow, here I am on the East Coast. You've done this for over 30 years out here in California. And everybody out there in California talking Rickie, 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 Rickie. And I'm like, Michael. I said, no, Rickie, 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 you need to get to the music. And so I listen, your Wednesdays, those Wednesday things. And so we're not gonna. Okay, so I got into the music and I realized that just as Michael told me when I interviewed you, that
Mm-hmm.
God told him in order to build the beloved community, he
Mm-hmm.
needed your voice. He needed
Mm-hmm.
you there in your songs. And I recognize that people on the West Coast have this gift that they've known about for 30 years. We're just trying to catch up here on the East Coast. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like the big megaphone, like I've
Mm-hmm.
discovered something that's wonderful and I want to share it with everybody. So, and I don't feel no kind of way about it. I
It
feel
was
that
interesting.
I
It
feel that
was
God put it on my heart to do it. I feel that's my mission from God, by the way.
Well, I met you. I heard your name. I first heard your name when I was in Texas. I believe
Oh,
it was Dallas, Texas, and
interesting.
somebody came up to me and said, he introduced himself. He says, you don't know me. I think it was Dallas. He says, you
Detroit.
No, it was it
Really?
was it was Texas,
Come
and
on now.
uh, he says there's a DJ in DC who plays your music and who loves your music, and you should know about her, and you really should know about her. Because I've only been to Detroit twice. That's why I said it wasn't Detroit.
Okay.
It was Texas. I remember it was Texas, and that person was not from Texas. They were just in Texas at the time, and they knew
Holy
you.
hookup.
Yeah. And he was like, you need to check her out, and I did. I found you. I was like, somebody's playing my music on the radio. I want to know where that person is, and then began a beautiful relationship
Beautiful relationship.
that I've had through the years with this fabulous being. And so I want you guys to know that Lona Alias has so many. I mean, she's a radio personality, but she's got so much. She's so intelligent that my question. I got a few questions for you that are yummy. And thank you for that story about how you got fired from the Thursday, the Monday night, and took the Thursday and then decided to jump up to the
They
Sunday.
said, you got to come on and do Sunday. I'm like,
Yeah.
what y'all talking about? They said, you're so spiritual. I'm like, I'm trying to be incognito here.
Yeah.
I'm trying to fly under the radar.
And this is the Pacifica radio. So
In Washington.
In Washington. So you're talking about music that is funded by the people.
Yes.
And so when they say that they wanted a different kind of music on Sunday morning, it was by choice. Yes. By people's choice. Yes. It wasn't like somebody was trying to shut down gospel. No. But they just wanted something that was more inclusive.
Yes.
And so she brought in music that was about God. It was about Jesus. It was about Buddha. It was about everybody. It was about Easy Like Sunday Morning. It was about.
I don't say his name right. Huh? I know I said it right.
Huh?
People Chadron, Mother Teresa. Desmond Tutu,
yes,
Marianne Williamson.
Well, you're letting wisdom, you're letting the best of what we've done free on your station, and I'm thankful that you include our music on there.
Oh,
and B Radio, she brings up B Radio. Speaking of bradio.org, bradio.org is streaming inspirational music 24/7, and I invite you to listen to our music on B Radio. I think B Radio needs some other music on it though, and so we got to do put some other fresh tunes in. But it's really good, it's really good. So I got a question about. Well, I want to make a statement, and I wrote this. I said, "Genius finds sanity when it learns how to." A genius finds sanity when she learns how to keep her heart open in a world of limited, predictable, programmable, colonized expectations. Creating the world beyond the one that appears may also be in response to the one that appears. In other words, creating the world beyond the one that appears may also be in response, and sometimes must be in response to the one that appears. In other words, what's appearing is evoking something deep and more from you, and I really do consider you to be a genius. I mean, we don't have to talk about what a genius is, but let's just say you got lots of access to intelligence. I'm just going to put it right there. You got lots of access
to intelligence.
Your acknowledgement.
Yeah. I appreciate your acknowledgement. Truly.
And it just means to me, genius just means that it flows in a holy, holy way inside of you. And it's not what you gave yourself. It's what was planted in you. But what you have done is made space for it without apology. And I've watched you do that. I've watched you find your place in the world, and when you have a gift that big, you also have to learn how to step back, just kind of listen to other people sometimes, because we can go on and on. Listen to me, I'm including myself in the genius, but you. When you hear me and Lona on the phone, it's the best conversation because I can totally follow this lady. So my question is, as an intuitive channel for healing, and you are that because you called me before and told me that, things about my mom on the other side, and you've given me messages from beyond. I have a story. I have a question as an intuitive channel for healing. Can you share a story about healing that you witnessed yourself? You know, what is a healing that you witnessed? Like somebody was really stuck.
Me?
Okay. And how did the love
Yeah,
energy get
yeah.
you unstuck?
I think I would be the best example because that whole thing about genius. I was born with an eidetic memory. My nickname is Data.
Hmm.
Anything that I have ever experienced or seen, if
Hmm.
there's a need for it,
Hmm.
I can close my eyes and go back to that moment. And it's like I'm in the room where it happened with all the colors and all the sounds and everything. It just
My
throw.
mom, my mom was like that.
So being interrupted at a young age, I lived with my grandmother in my early age because my mom, genius that she was, and in
Mm.
this white supremacist society was not paid her worth. So she could not support her. So I went to live with her. I went back at age of 3. I recited the 23rd Psalm from beginning to end, a big deal at the church. I remember this. I
Mhm.
left a place where I was adored and treasured with my grandmother and went to live with my mother where I was to be seen and not heard.
Mhm.
They wanted me to talk there. That's why I learned that 23rd Psalm. They wanted me to
When
perform
you were with
with
your
my
grandmother.
when I
Yeah.
was with my grandparents. So that was interrupted when I went back, and I was put in a position. So this is where the healing comes. Let me get to it. Where nobody was allowed to have a voice. Nobody was allowed to have an emotion that my mother did not bring into the room. Now I
Mhm.
understand this now as an adult
Mhm.
because of the pressures that was on her. It was life or death. If we went out there and did anything wrong, she didn't have time to be talking to us to get it straight. Okay.
Mhm.
So she
Mhm.
did not spare the rod.
Mhm.
Okay. So the healing came being a genius, being able to know everything that's in the books the first
Mhm.
week of school because I read them all and I'm bored. And not being enough.
Mhm.
So there was a break, something broke in me for a period of time where there was a sense of insecurity of not being enough because if I have perfect scores, if I can do everything perfectly, and yet I don't have your approval, and yet all I do is get angered, and yet anger from my mom, who was the most
Mhm.
important person in my life, there was
Mhm.
something broke inside of me. So when I learned truly how to meditate,
Mhm.
and the meditation that I learned, I will call it, its Sanskrit name is Satipatthana. It is the technology on which transcendental meditation is based. That's all I'm going to say about it. You want to know, look more, check it out yourself. So when I learned how to do that, the practice of it is what you call mindfulness. It's just breathing, giving the mind something to do, and being unavailable to the thoughts that people my life. And I realized that I am not the thoughts. I had the tangible experience of thoughts coming up into my awareness, and I'm over here clearly. That's what meditation did. Is the guardian between a door between the thoughts that you normally allow and the fact that you're not the thoughts, where you have this true separation where you are observing. So your conditioning, my conditionings, the habits, everything through this practice, I was able to cut, and just completely clear out and really be born anew from just
Mhm.
working. Because now I can go into the science of it, but that was a healing for me. We're not
Mhm.
no longer insecure. At this point in my life, I know that I'm self-sovereign and
Mhm.
enough.
So the meditation set you free.
The meditation was the gateway through
Mhm.
which, and the working of it, because I had to work with what was coming up in my awareness, because
Mhm.
all that
Mhm.
stuff was still there. I had to work and practice it, but having a practice of meditation
Yeah. Yeah.
is what allowed me to heal those
Yeah.
parts of me
That's
that were
beautiful.
broken
Oh,
and,
that's
and
beautiful.
fragmented. So yes.
Yeah. Just introspection. I think meditation helps us all. I think I'm certainly better because I do, and because I have, and because I did.
It saved
Uh,
my life.
you know,
Well, along with therapy, but
yeah. I think some therapy could have helped me. But what I had was walking buddies. I have walking buddies, and now, when I need a therapist, I just call I call my folks who go to therapy, and they can give me their techniques.
Absolutely. That's what it is. It's about retraining. It's about information,
Yeah,
emotional intelligence.
yeah,
And,
yeah, yeah. Well, as a practitioner, when I trained as a practitioner, there was quite a bit of it had to do with healing. It had to do with forgiveness, and heal.
yes,
And I think the greatest work, at least my greatest work, going through the practitioner study in my years at Agape, um, and I graduated in 1993 as a practitioner. I was a licensed practitioner for 15 years, and then I left the Corps altogether. And I'm that kind of person. It was like, if I find something that has a discrepancy, or it doesn't meet up for me, it's like I step back and I'm looking at it and go like, is this really the way I wanted to do it? But up until that point, in my years of just in prayer, praying for other people, and praying before everything you do, praying after you've done it, and then the time of sitting still. And a lot of that was uncomfortable for me, because I'm wired to go. So for me to stop is important, and it was good for me. Those
same
years were
here.
very, very good for me, and it's still good. Even though I know that meditation alone it takes more than meditation to be fully you. To be fully you, it's more than meditating. To be fully you is to touch deep inside of yourself, and when your eyes open, to move from the glory of God's love in you. And sometimes, as meditating, can be like a cerebral process, depending on how you learn it. It's like I'm watching my breath. I'm watching my breath. Now I don't struggle at all to meditate. You know why? Because when I sit, I'm feeling God's love around me.
So
I
there are different
sit.
types.
Let me finish. When I sit, I feel, and I'm breathing. So breath is part of it. Breath is all of it, because like breath is the love of God. The breath in me is God's love, right? But when I'm breathing and I'm feeling that, all of a sudden, I don't know if y'all like that on the thread. You need to put that. You need to put something in the comment. Post a comment about what meditation does for you, or at least breathing, or at least feeling God's love around you. Feeling God holding you, feeling the love of something greater. I just use creator, because I do believe in God, and that helps me. And when I can breathe into God's love, I know I'm all right.
Hmm, I share.
I know I'm all right.
I share.
It's like I have a little dice here. I think it's called a die, because two pieces is a dice, but one is a die, right?
Yes.
I got a die, and on every end of it is God.
I love that.
Any way you roll it is God.
I love
and
that.
and I know that anyway when we're walking in God, it's like you're gonna be all right. So go ahead on and talk to me, Lona.
I was trying to say, excuse me,
Well,
am I on screen? Because I went to try to not
well, I tell you
cough
what,
on the mic.
clear your throat, and I'm gonna mute you for a moment while she finishes coughing. What I wanted to say with regards to healing is that a major part of healing is when energy is unstuck. Like there's a blockage of something. There's a holding pattern. There's a way that you're holding on like this, in your heart, or in your not even in your awareness, but in your thoughts. You're holding on to something, to some pain, to some victimization, to some way you were hurt. And when you get the realization of love, when you get the realization of love, of loving, of being loved, of never not being loved in God. From this is me. This is my story. It did this. I became a Jedi. And I was in practitioner class. I'll never forget this. And the assignment was to they brought up, and I forgot how they do it, but it was the focus was on somebody who hurt you,
Mm,
when you were a child,
mm,
and the and who came up for me was an aunt of mine, the aunt that I stayed with for 4.5 years. My story is very similar to yours, in a lot of ways. And with this particular part, I got the awareness that God was there in that room. And then I got the awareness of her love for me,
mm.
which I never could get. I never could get her love for me. I just got her demands of me, her need for me to be perfect, her need for me to do this, her need for me not to be a fat person. So I didn't get all the food that I needed and wanted because I was a little chubby, greedy girl. But she was like, that's not going to rule you. Even though she was a big woman, she wouldn't allow food to be an issue, to be plentiful for me. So by the time I went back with my family, I was thin. My body looked like yours. I was thin. I had big legs, and I was a scholar, but I was neurotic. There was a lot that was disconnected. It would take my mother's love.
Mhm.
It would take my family's love and their understanding, to hold me. So the question, so
Can I just wanted to, about the meditation. I do different types of meditations. The one that saved my life is the one where I am unavailable to thoughts that people my life. That my practice
mhm,
is like you say, mindfulness on the breath. Okay. There are
yes,
other meditations that I do where I just sit down and just go into spirit. And
mhm,
usually when I'm just sitting down to go into spirit, I travel. I go on journeys.
mhm,
I end up just all kind of places. I sit down to pray for somebody who's on a trip. I end up on the trip with them. I end up where they are. If there's some kind of issue with them, if there's some wonderful thing that happens to them, when I sit down with the thought of blessing them and to be, to support their journey, I'm there with them. So there are different types of meditations that for different purposes. And I just shared one part of the meditation of Satipatthana, but there's work involved with analyzing, journaling,
mhm,
identifying, just as when you go through therapy where you have to work through and talk
mhm.
through. And
And you're a meditation teacher. You teach
yes,
meditation.
yes, I do. Yes,
Well,
I do.
let me end this story. Let me tell you about this, about that journey with in healing this disconnect with something that had been that was victimizing me. I was a victim of my past, of my relationship with a family member.
Mm,
And when I finally got the love that was there, and it was just this, there was there was a and it was a breath. I was breathing, but I got to see the love of her that I couldn't see as a little girl, but she's now I'm grown. It's like when you're a little girl, she's way up there, you know. Now, not only is she, if I that I'm way up there, but she's not even here anymore. So the
mm.
thing is, it's like, but there was this feeling of love for her, and I could see the things that she did for me. I could be in gratitude for what happened. And I knew that the ancestors were in the room with me, even when I thought nobody was there.
It's
And
so
it's like
interesting.
you get to see something you couldn't see, but this is the fun part. And then all of a sudden, and when I had this forgiveness, and I couldn't make myself do that. That is something that happened inside of me. I couldn't make it. I could, I was saying I forgive her, but it was something bigger happening than what I was saying. What was happening was that forgiveness was taking place inside of me. And I kid you not, it was like all these dominoes began to fall. It was like it's like chains just unbreaking. These chains unbroke. All it was like eon. It was like generations of. It was like all these chains got to be requalified by my willingness to forgive. But I didn't even have to forgive. There was nothing else hurting. You know.
Wow.
You
I
know there
had a,
was. You know what I mean?
of course, you know what? my mom, I mentioned that whole thing about, nobody was allowed to have any emotions that wasn't, happening with her
Yeah.
at the time.
Yes.
But also, my interesting thing happened with my mom, because my mom never said I loved you unless
Mhm.
you said it first. And I never heard her say I love you to any
Mhm.
of us until I was an adult and I said it to her.
Mhm.
And then she said it back. Um,
Praise God that
yes,
you
but the
could.
thing is,
Yeah.
something that my mom said before, some years before she passed, and after she passed, I have to tell you, I had this incredible experience. I had forgotten most of my childhood. I could not remember it. When my mom died, I got flooded for 10 years with all these wonderful memories of
Mm.
loving connection with my mom,
Mhm.
loving experiences, things that we did that I had no recall for whatsoever. What healed me and broke my heart at the same time, my mom just out of the blue says that when she was 7 years old, my mom was a genius. And all of her siblings would tell you that Willie Mae was the genius of it. She was the smartest of them in mathematics and blah, 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 blah. But she only
Mhm.
went to the third grade because my grandpapa favored her. And because she was so smart, he took her out of school so she could help do the figures because they were sharecroppers.
Mhm.
My mom says out of the blue one day, she says, I don't know what made me say this one day, but one day Mama and Leola and Viola, these are her twins, older sisters of my grandmother, were in the kitchen. And she says, and then I was like 7 years old, and I just said out of the blue, when I grow up, I'm going to be a nurse. And she said, everybody just laughed at me.
Mhm.
She said, just burst out and laughed at me. Said, you stupid, how you think ain't nobody going to ever. That broke my heart.
Mhm.
And that made me, I felt her pain in that moment
Mhm.
in a way
Mhm.
that I never felt for my
Mhm.
mom before.
Mhm.
And it broke my heart because
Mhm.
I saw her differently.
Mhm.
And to me, that informed a lot about how she was in the world, about
How
how
she
she
what?
moved in the world,
How she
how
moved
she
in the world.
was and how she moved in the world.
Mhm.
That
Mhm.
experience. And my
Mhm.
mom did become a nurse.
Mhm.
Not only did she
Mhm.
become a nurse, but she had to fight New York State in order to do it because they
Mhm.
denied her funding because of her age.
Mhm.
And she went on and became the nurse that she always wanted to be. So when
Mhm.
I heard this story years later,
Mhm.
before
Mhm.
her, I never knew it until just before she passed.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so that changed my heart about her. Yes, Rickie,
Yeah.
saying something.
No. No.
I'm like, we're almost at the end of the hour. You haven't said
No.
anything.
Yes, I have. But I
I
was
mean,
just
you know what I
thinking
mean.
about "I Forgive You." I forgive me. This is a song that Tim McAfee Lewis and I think Michael Beck they wrote this together. I forgive me. I forgive me. Everything that I've been holding on to, I let go. I surrender. I surrender. I'm ready for my change. I'm ready for my change. I forgive her. I forgive her. Everything that I was holding on to, I let go. I surrender. I surrender. And I'm ready for my change. I'm ready for my change. This is a good time to let it go. Something you've been holding on to. my change. It's a good song. Lots
Love
of my
you.
chords in it. It's a great song. It's a
Love
great
it.
song. Isn't it a
Love it.
beautiful
Love you.
song?
Love it. Love you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So check it out. So as because I get that you, or I'm getting that you are well versed in the metaphysical studies, that you are teaching meditation and can show different methods of meditation, and have. And do you work extensively with Unity of DC at all?
I've not. I've. I go. I'm a member of Unity of Washington D.C. with Reverend Sylvia Sumter.
Yeah.
Sumter.
Yes.
Yes, and I attended service regularly for a period of time. And
Mhm.
when I went to Sunday morning, that became difficult.
Yes.
Because
Because you have your own service.
by the time I finished, like
You've
I've
done it.
brought down the Holy Spirit. I've
Yeah.
walked with the Holy Ghost, for those hours and the fullness of it. And even though the people that are listening may not know where that's coming from, they may only see the metaphysical, the whatever, but walking with God and bringing the power down so that they feel it, and everybody that comes in leaves changed. That's the reason I do it.
Yeah.
Um, what
Yeah.
was your question? I'm sorry. Because that just
No,
took
no,
me
no.
into the spirit. With
Well.
Unity, I have not done. I have not done work with Unity. I've
Mhm.
offered the classes
Yeah.
as a thank you gift on the radio station,
Oh, okay. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
specifically for healing and balancing,
Mhm.
because people are so stressed out today. And the
Mhm.
technique that I teach
Mhm.
turns the body to homeostasis. So that's the whole thing. Everybody's so stressed out, and it can be beneficial no matter what you do. Go
And
ahead.
what's the thank you, Floyd, for those hearts. Thank you, Lori, for that big beautiful statement about the chords. I
They're
forgive
beautiful
him.
always.
Yes, I
Of the
mean,
chords.
hi
Absolutely.
Patricia. I just, let me say hello to some of my homies that are in the. Thank you guys for being on with us tonight. So
Thank you. Hi,
then,
Maxine.
so
Hi,
so
Lori.
if you had to choose between the things that you do as a life coach, as a meditate spirit, as a spiritual teacher, as a radio personality, as well, I know you love your wife, and I love you love your mothering, because you also have daughters. It's like, what is it that brings you most joy? Would it be your radio show?
It would be singing.
It would be
It would
singing.
be singing and the radio show. It'd be,
Okay.
see, it's hard to choose because all of them take me into God. Acting,
Oh, all
oh, come
roads
on now.
lead to God.
All of them take me into God.
Yes.
Acting, when I'm developing, because I'm a classically trained actress, it may not be on there, but I'm a classically trained actress. I've done Shakespeare. I mean, they've written songs for me. I go to auditions. They added stuff to the show because of the auditions that I did and stuff. That's an arena stage. I
Mhm.
can just go on and say that in DC. But because, yeah, all of it just takes me right into the presence of God. So it's
Mhm.
always been hard for me to choose, because when I'm doing it, I'm in God.
Yeah, but you've done
What
the radio longer than everything, right?
While I've been singing and acting and performing since I came out of the womb. My first performance live was me doing the 23rd Psalms when I was 3 years old in front of Rosa Sharon Baptist Church at 3825 South State Street,
So
Chicago, Illinois.
where's your next show?
My next show, I don't have one scheduled. However, I'm working on something now because
Mhm.
I just did a reunion with In Process, which was a singing group that was formed by Sweet Honey and the Rock to
Mhm.
honor one of our members, okay,
Mhm.
that has passed, and working on doing another reunion with them. And they're also talking about trying to do a film for us. That's
Mhm.
my next performance. I have some auditions. I'm in the works of a one-woman show
Mhm.
called Songs of Healing and Triumph
Mhm.
that focus on the songs that came out of our church, and
Mhm.
also how they've used music as a carrier for social issues through time. So these
Mhm.
are songs that came out of our culture and stuff like that. So I'm working on a one-person show that I've done in the past in the public schools as an artist in residence in school. So I'm working on something that includes acting and singing. with
So,
that.
so if you could say one, if you can, this is a really broad question.
Okay.
What is the sound of love?
I'd probably say Om. I would say Om.
Mhm. Mhm.
Om. Or sound of the ocean.
Mhm. 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 Beautiful. That's a beautiful answer.
It's
You know.
hard because it's like if I think what's the sound of love, it would have to be Om, the sound that the universe makes.
Well, I did my own answers to your questions.
I want to hear your. I want to hear your answer. What's that? What was your answer for that one?
Well, actually, one of them I said, at what point? Because there was another question like, at what point does healing happen? You know.
I think healing is always happening. I think
Mhm.
we're always healing if we are open to it, and if it is our intention. Or let me cancel that. It doesn't even have to be our intention because life is rigged against you. You're going to come back to wholeness because you can't escape who you are. Everywhere
Mhm.
you go, there you are. You're going to come back to yourself. Life
Mhm.
is rigged that way. So I think
Mhm.
healing is always taking place. I think sometimes we don't work with it and it
Mhm.
takes longer. And
Mhm.
when, it may take, a circuitous route rather than
Mhm.
just being direct, boom, boom, like that. And it's
Mhm. Mhm.
real. I
Mhm.
think healing is always taking place.
Well, well, I
I
was
never thought about that before, but that's what my spirit says.
when I was getting your questions, when I thought about the sound, I said the sound of love. The sound of love. Well, healing to me is when love gets unleashed,
Mm,
when what was blocked gets unblocked.
yes.
When what was
Ashe.
held tight gets freed
Ashe.
like this.
Ashe.
And the
Mhm.
sound, and for me, the sound of love getting unleashed is a song.
Come on now with it. Which one?
All of them,
Oh, any song.
any
Well,
of them.
so
And
see,
I don't mean any song in the world. I mean any of the songs that I have written. It's like they were all in answer to something, someplace I was
absolutely,
stuck, whether it was in the land of I am. It's like,
absolutely.
you don't have no grandmother. You never didn't know this. You can't recite your grandma, blah, blah, she knew her grandma, I would have been jacked up years ago, but now I know, now I've gone back for my grandmothers.
Come on.
I've gone back to get them
Come on.
because it's important
Come
for
on.
me to know who they were, who they are, even though I never knew them when they were alive. But it's important for me to know because knowing their story, it will help me with my own,
Absolutely.
and it just will,
It
it will,
does.
it brings more glory, you know. But it was like this, and so I'm grieving, that I don't got this, and I don't have that, and I didn't know this, and in the middle of the night, here comes, in the land of I
Thank you,
am
Diane.
more than I have, and I am more than I will be. I am all that I am,
And I
and I
sent.
and I stopped. Hold on. I stopped grieving to catch the song.
Absolutely.
Stop grieving to catch the song. So the
Rickie, that's
song
what
the
your
song
music
gets your
does.
attention. Okay, now let's
I
talk
said it's
about
real. It's real. It's real. It's real because I feel it every time.
yeah.
Just one quick thing. I recorded in my song because I was so profuse in my joy. I said, I'm not going to put that on Rickie's phone. I said, Lona, calm down. Just center yourself before you do that. But I
Hey,
recorded just
Renee.
because I was feeling something had happened. Somebody was out of integrity and into my space somehow, impacting me. And
Mhm.
I had a moment of just like, I took the breath to get ready and I heard this simple song. Says, remember all is God. That's from in
Yes.
God's hand. This is remember all is
Mhm.
God.
Mhm.
It was like Paul on the road to Damascus. It turned me around in that second. It did. It stopped me, but it didn't just stop me, Rickie.
Yes.
It stopped me, and I was filled with the
Mm,
release and the joy of knowing, even though it was painful, it was disappointing what that person has done, but to
mhm,
remember that all is God, which
mhm.
means that it's working for my good.
Still, that's right.
It's working for my good.
Yeah,
I
it's
was
you're
like,
gonna be right. That's right. Because you're playing with loaded dice.
it was liberating. It was liberating. So music has always done that for me. And
Good. Yeah.
so to find someone whose music, I found no contradictions. Well, that's not true. I've changed some lyrics, but I found no contradictions in any of your songs. That's what I was
Mhm.
gonna say.
Well, it was look. You just made it more you. You know, you made it fit you.
Exactly.
It wasn't a
Exactly.
contradiction. It's just you just found something that felt more familial for you. You know, I will sue you for
And
changing my
so,
words.
yeah. Well, as long as
Just
I didn't
kidding.
publish it, I think I'm okay. Look, I know. I'm saying, as long as I don't
I
publish
heard
it
you.
and don't
No,
tell
no,
anybody.
everybody, listen. I was on her show and she was singing the song using her words.
I remember
I
that.
heard you. Yes. I was
You
like,
said
oh
that
my
wasn't
God.
that wasn't it. That wasn't it.
It was great. What's your favorite food? What's your favorite dessert?
Okay, I said I know this is a question that you asked, and so I should have an answer for it. If my
One of them.
mom were here, I would say my mom's lemon coconut cake.
Ooh. Mm, mm, mm.
Okay, now since my mom's not here, okay, my brother Alex, I gotta call you. My brother Alex's sweet potato
Oh
pie
yeah.
that he makes
Yeah.
from scratch,
Wow.
and
Wow. I would be no good with that.
like he has
Yeah.
to make dozens. He's got to do at least a dozen because everybody wants to take one home.
Yeah. I
And he
bet.
does. He's so generous. I just love my big brother. And shout
Yeah.
out to you, Alex. Love you, little brother, too. You know,
Yeah. Well, I'm so thankful that you're on the show with us tonight. And I have other questions. I have one that says, do you have an early morning ritual that you do?
yes. The first thing in the morning, I get up and, well, the usual things, but I meditate. I meditate. My first thing I do is I get up and I do a silent meditation. And the meditation I do is the one of mindfulness, where I set up the guardian, where thoughts can't just come and jump into my awareness because I've had them in the past. I do a meditation where I breathe in. First, I cleanse myself, and then I breathe in and I count as I breathe in. I hold the breath. I count as I exhale the breath, and I hold the breath. And that's all that I do. Those are the only thoughts that I attach to. I'm mindful as I'm doing this that there are other thoughts that are there that are happening. I watch them just float by, aware and clear that it's in 2 3 4, hold 2 3 4, out 2 3 4, hold 2 3 4. I do that until I go into a deep meditative state and I lose all track of the time. I
Mhm.
try to do it at least 10 or 15 minutes. I usually end up doing about 20 minutes.
Mhm.
And then I put music on. Now today, because I need to say this, the solstice begins today on the 20th and it goes through the 24th. I checked in the ephemeris,
Mhm.
the declination of the planets. It stops today on the 20th.
Mhm.
Today, so I fasted today, and I
Mhm.
began this morning with um, inspirational messages for like 3 or 4 hours on YouTube. And I just laid in the bed. I mean, I got up and I
Mhm.
did what I need to do for everybody in the house and stuff like that. I
Mhm.
was done with them by 8 o'clock, closed
Mhm.
my door, fed everybody, closed my door, lay down and did
Mhm.
meditation and the journaling and stuff like that. But usually my early morning is I do that meditation. If something has come up in spirit to me, then I will write it down. If I had dreams or something, if I got messages about somebody
Mhm.
or somebody's
Mhm.
family and stuff like that,
So
I
you
will
do
write
that. You do
it
that after the meditation, after
down.
your after your meditation. Then you get your journal and write down the other
Yes, if
things.
there are things. Well, if something happened while I was asleep, I would write that down before I do my meditation.
Okay.
I put
Yes.
on Reiki well songs
Mhm.
and the sound of the ocean and wells in the
Mhm.
background, and just let that, just be in the room. And I just go in and I do that meditation. I do that every day. If there's work that I need to do somebody, then I'll do
Did you
that
did
spiritual
you
work.
get that, folks? You write down if something came across for you coming right out of sleep. Write
Yes,
it write it
immediately,
down. Write it down
immediately.
immediately before you go into the silence.
Yeah, before
Yeah,
before I do
because
anything else, because I
yeah,
want to have it. I want to
because you want to have it. Yeah,
fresh.
yeah,
I want to catch all of it while
yeah,
it's there.
yeah. Usually when I awake, everything I need to do and know is right there. If I for the day, but I just have to remember that I'm watching it, you know, because it's there and it's like, oh, I got to write it down. It's like a song that I'll be singing a song and then I'll go like, oh, I've never sung this before.
Oh, I love that so much. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I haven't sung this before. Like it's already a part of me, so then I have to remember,
That's
like, okay,
joyful. Joy, joy,
yeah,
joy.
yeah. It's a good life. And this morning I also remembered a song that I have not worked on, and because I haven't worked on it, I almost forgot that I wrote it.
Hmm.
And the name of the song is like we are here to learn how it goes, how it flows around, and how it flows around, and how it. Let me see. We are here to learn how it goes around, and how it turns into a life so special.
Ow. I like that.
And you can quiet down to learn how it flows with majesty and grace, embracing you inside. And you can learn how it grows a boy into a man who walks with loving courage. Learn how it shows a woman she's a goddess, blessed and superbly human. You got to quiet down to learn how it goes around, and how it turns into a life so special.
Love that. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Quiet down to learn how it goes, how it flows around, and how it turns into something. Spirit flows around and round and round into something. So it's such a beautiful song.
I'm loving it. That's so beautiful,
it's
Rickie.
It's so beautiful.
Hey, Rickie, I have a project that I wanted to tell you about, and I wanted to see your face.
You might want to turn and tell us after the hour.
Okay. Well, okay. I can wait.
Because we're coming to the end of our time together. Oh yeah, and I need to share with everybody, but I want to hear about that, Lona. This is the save the date for April 12th to 14th. I'm going to be close to Lona Alias, and not in DC, but in the Blue Ridge Mountains.
We might bring folks down there, Rickie.
Junaluska. Yeah, the spring revival is going to be good. I'm thinking about changing it to I Release and I Let Go spring revival. But right now it's the Rickie Byars spring revival, just so that folks know that we are bringing it. John Stringer is going to join me, Quinn Fontaine, and Rob McDonald is coming, and Georgia is going to try to make it. It's going to be an awesome 3 days. We begin Friday night, all day Saturday, with an eclectic and wonderful concert on Saturday night, and Sunday morning session ending at noon. So those of you in the DMV, in North Carolina, South Carolina, or even in Los Angeles or anywhere. I mean, Sue's coming, Marion is coming. By the way, I want to recognize Marion for the winter flower arrangement. Thank you, Marion. I want to recognize Sue Lingle, who I want to bring into the screen right now. And Sue, how did you enjoy the show tonight?
Great show. Great show. I resonated really highly with I Am Not My Thoughts. When you're talking about meditating,
yeah,
you got like two personalities talking here, but I'm getting straight.
That's what we call individuals.
Yeah,
don't forget it. Don't miss it.
Hey, Juan Carlos is on. Dorothy Waterman. Thank you all for joining us. Hi, Renee Mandela. I love you.
And Diane Hanshaw says she listens to Spirit of Jazz.
Yes, and Floyd Dozier probably does too. Spirit of Jazz is airing what time Sunday morning?
6 to 9 a.m. on 89.3 FM if you're in DC, and on WPFW FM.org. and just simply push on the live, listen live if you're up then. If not, you can go to the archive shows and listen to it at any time.
Yeah. Well, thank you for blasting the songs. Thank you for keeping my music alive in the world.
Man, Rickie, I'm so glad
really appreciate you.
You keep my heart alive, and it's healing for other people, because I continually get feedback with people calling me saying, "Oh my God, I love it," and people that have been streamers from Agape. When I will open and I'll do 3, like I just do a set, like 3 or 4 songs back to back to back. They go crazy. You know,
they say RIGASA. Oh yeah, I didn't even talk about the sweatshirts. This is the new RIGASA sweatshirt. RIGASA stands for Rest in God and Say Amen. We have them in all kinds of styles, all kinds of colors. If you want one, hit me up at rickiebyars@gmail.com. I'm so enjoying my conversations with you. Those of you who are ordering them, it's so cool. You know, we have all kinds of styles, and we maybe next week we'll put them up so people can see them soon. In the meantime, I just want you to have happy holidays.
Thank you.
You know, this is the time of year that in the past has been very hard for me, because I'm kind of torn with the holidays, and now I'm all right. You know, I'm all right with being all right with nature and the sun, and appreciating the great gift that Yeshua brought to us, but knowing that he was born October 10th.
March 23rd.
They placed his birthday close to the birth of the sun. It's all,
That's
you know,
right.
we know we know the story. You know, we know the story. They put his birthday at the birth of the new revolution of the sun around the earth. And this is happening beginning tonight, and it goes for 4 days, as Lona has beautifully stated. So enjoy your winter solstice. Enjoy your Christmas day. Enjoy your Kwanzaa season. But more than that, enjoy God as you expressing through everything that you do. Enjoy your life.
Enjoy
it. Rest in God and say,
Ashe, amen.
Yes.
Let our joy be so triumphant that we